I was born ready.
Yes.
Are we on? Oh crap, I wasn't ready. Psych, I'm kidding. I was born ready.
Yes, you were ready.
Howdy, y'all. How's everybody doing tonight? It is Wednesday night,
The 15th.
April 15th. This used to be traditionally known as tax day, but because of COVID-19, they moved tax day to, I believe, July the 15th. And so, so you got a couple months still. If you didn't file your taxes, better file your taxes. So I'm just going to look and see who's logging in. There's my mom, Judy, Stewie. My mom, Judy, all the way from Florida, joining us. Is that Mikey Jones I see on there?
It is.
How about you, Mikey Jones?
Cookie Nickel.
And I see Michelle Gostomsky. She's all the way out in somewhere today. I think she's traveling. Her and D-Wayne are traveling, but I don't want to say for sure, just in case they don't want people to know they're traveling. Which maybe they're not. They might not be. I see Robert Nickel on there. Mike Dorsey has jumped in. Brother Mike, good to see you. Well, good to see your name. Oompa Loompa. Liana Stewart is on there. Nice to see you, Liana. I see Elise on there. How are you, Elise? Nice to see you. Michelle says she's in Ohio.
Okay.
See, I told you she was traveling. You can't see it because Tina's got her computer screen in front of her, but she's sporting a Riverside shirt.
Oh.
I went to go find a Riverside t-shirt, and I couldn't find one, but I found something just a shade bit better. This is made by one of my spiritual sons that go to Riverside Church. This is made by Lewis Alexander. And it's got something over here on this. Is it over here?
King Jesus.
King Jesus. So you may have seen people walking around Riverside with these on, and if you're interested in one, just hit Lewis up. I'm sure he'd love to hook you up with one. And by that I mean make one for you to buy.
Yes.
He doesn't give them away for free unless you're a spiritual dad. And then I'm just kidding. But see Lewis, if you like it, hit Lewis and Christine up. That's where I got this one at. And I thought I saw Christine on there. Yep, she's on there. Great shirt. I see Richard Thompson on there. Richard, how are you? We played phone tag yesterday. Maybe I'll catch up with you tonight or tomorrow. Well, probably not tomorrow. I've got a funeral I'm doing tomorrow. And so tomorrow will be kind of a full day. But anyway, we're just logged on here, saying hello to everybody, giving everybody a chance to jump on. Again, this is Wednesday Night Super Informal. Got Mama T with us again.
Hello.
I see Darlene and Don are on there. Hello, Darlene and Don Kovalevich. Nice to see you. Michelle says they're on a rescue mission. Yes, I did get a text message from D-Wayne earlier today about Michelle, about your daddy is not doing well. He's got some health issues going on there, and so they'd asked us to pray for them. So Michelle, we're gonna be praying for your dad, and I'm just going, Michelle, if it's all right, I'm gonna pull his name's Rich, so we'll pray for Michelle Gostomsky's dad, Rich. And Michelle, if you want to, you can put some comments on there. If there's something specifically you want us to pray for and pray about concerning your dad, we'll certainly do that. I did get a praise report today concerning Stacy's husband, Kevin. She texted me earlier and said that Kevin is he's alert and he's interacting with the nurse. He's still dealing with the ventilator issue, but she says he was watching TV earlier today. He was able to interact and talk with the nurse. Even though he's on a ventilator, I think he had a tracheotomy put in, and if Stacy comes on there, Stacy Swank comes on, maybe she can give us an update, or Betty Reeves, if she comes on, can give us an update. George Borst, good to see you, man. And Stacy Trimbali, good to see you. You like my shirt? This was made by one of my spiritual sons, Stacy, at Riverside Church. So if anybody's interested in getting one of these, PM Tina.
Yes. You can email me at office@rcclife.com and I'll get the messages to Lewis.
If you're interested in this, and I think they come in different colors and obviously different sizes. And so if you're interested in a shirt like this, Lewis makes them at Riverside. So Let me see. What else? Well, that's the kind of the only update that I have. We're also continuing to pray for Kevin's dad,
Yes.
and I don't think he's responding very well to the treatment. Both of these gentlemen were diagnosed with COVID-19, and Kevin seems to be on the mend. But man, with this sickness, it's like it's like there's not a lot we know about it. I think we learn stuff about it, and then we learn some of the stuff we learn might not be exactly accurate, and so I don't even know who or what to believe much anymore. And but we do know that they're both okay. So they actually got Kevin. Here's Betty. I figured her or Stacy want to be on. He is sitting in a chair. He's got a trach, and he will need a feeding tube. So we're just, you know what? Let's just pray. Since we're sitting here and this is fresh in front of us, let's pray for Kevin. And then here we go. She's got pray that we get my parents safely back to Florida where he can get an appointment with his doctor. Yeah, they were like moving from Florida to Ohio, and they've been in a transition. Michelle's mom and dad have been, and so they were out in Ohio kind of helping them make that transition. And I think her dad fell ill, and but I don't think it's related to the coronavirus, but he got ill, and so now they're having to take him back to Florida, and so they're dealing with that. So we're going to pray right now for Kevin Swank, that's Stacy's husband. We're going to pray for Michelle's dad. His name is Rich. And then let's just pray right now for Kevin's dad as well. He's off sedation, but they can't get him to wake up. So Betty, I guess they got him off the ventilator, and assuming they took all the ventilator off of him, and so but he hasn't woken up. So, Father, I just thank you for this night that you've given us, God. I thank you for the opportunity just to join together with church family and others, Lord, of just like faith. And God, I just pray for these men that have been set before us today with these petitions and over their requests, God, for number one, for Kevin. God, we just continue to lift this man up before you. And God, I ask you just to continue to bring total and complete healing and restoration to his body. I'm grateful, God, for the progress that we're beginning to see in him. As small as it may be, it's still progress, God. And so for that, we just thank you. And we just pray, God, that you would continue to bring just complete and total healing to Kevin's body. Lord, we pray for Kevin's dad, and Lord, that they would be able to stir him, and that he would be able to wake up from this coma or whatever they have him. I know he was sedated, God, so they had him in a coma. But we just pray, God, that he would begin to arouse, and that he would begin to wake up, God, and not only that, but he would also wake up being completely and totally made whole. Pray for Michelle's dad, Rich. God, out there in Ohio, Lord, you know everything that's going on with him, the stuff that he's having to deal with. And so, Lord, I just pray that you touch his body as well. Touch his brain, God, and bring healing to him. Give strength to Michelle and Dwayne as they begin to help get their parents back to Florida. And so, God, we just pray that you give them the strength and the grace to be able to do that. God, we're grateful and thankful for everybody that's joining us on the live stream. We just pray, God, that we have a wonderful time tonight interacting with them and them interacting with us. We thank you, God, for the privilege and the opportunity just to be able to come and to share and to encourage and to bless and maybe just make somebody laugh or just enjoy one another's company tonight on this live stream. So, God, we just thank you and we ask you, Lord, you have authority and you have dominion, and God, you be sovereign and you just move on us tonight. We pray in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Amen. Thank y'all so much. Continue to lift those guys up in prayer. We've added them to our prayer list here, and of course we'll be praying for them as well. Rachel Acevedo, good to see you, baby girl. Hope you're doing well. Hope things are going well over there. And thank you, Liana, for just continuing to pray. D. Wayne, we got you covered in prayer, man. We'll keep y'all lifted up there, and that sort of thing. I see Karen Gabalt on there. Hello, Miss Karen. Hope you're doing well. Sky Hines, my baby girl's on there. She's watching from the backyard. She's here close by. if you pay her enough money, she may come and stick her face in this
just
window
might.
window behind me. Kevin, good to see you, man. Kevin Gunther, good to see you. Joy, nice to see you, baby. Hope you're doing well. Hope everybody was able to get their stimulus checks. That kind of made things. Hopefully, that made everybody happy today. Maybe it did, maybe it didn't. But I think those were being. People were starting to get those. Let's see. What did she say? Karen says she got face set up with Rush.
Yes.
There's
For the
my
Zoom
brother
group.
with the Zoom group. Yep.
Yes, the youth group.
Yeah, our youth. Brandy's got a group that meets through the Zoom application or Zoom website.
Yes.
She meets with all the young people on Wednesday nights. In fact, right now, I guess.
Yes, they should be.
They're going right now. Shane, my brother, is ready to go and bowl. And Sky is taking bids on whether or not to come down and put her face in the window behind me. She's starting at $5 is the bid. I don't know how high it needs to be, but she may come and poke her face in this window behind me. If she does, I'll try to reach and grab her out this door and make her come in here and talk to us.
Yes.
Robert says he needs a haircut. Yeah, I think a lot of people probably need haircuts. I was actually thinking about, believe it or not, I said to Tina today, I'm thinking about trimming my beard up. Now, I'm not going to shave it completely off. Just kind of trim it up some. Get it. Do they have a high and tight for the beard?
I don't know. I can Google it. You can Google everything. I can Google it. I can try. I can do it.
What you can do? What?
I
Just
can
trim my
trim it
beard?
up.
No.
Yeah. Why
No.
not?
This has got to be for a professional who is skilled in
I could try.
No, this has got to be someone who's highly qualified and skilled.
I did confess to Brandy today that I trimmed my bangs, and I was very careful. I only cut what was above the finger, so far so good.
You cut your own hair today?
I did.
I'm scared to touch my own beard.
I mean, I didn't cut much. It was like a true haircut.
Leanna's still lobbying for the mullet. Before it gets off the screen, I see Kat Dorsey put Outback Zoom is on Thursday for the kids.
Yes.
Thank you, Kat, for putting that up there. The kids, the little kids, they meet with Miss Cat. Miss Cat comes and does a Zoom session with all the elementary school kids at Riverside as well, and she does that on Thursdays. And I think that's kind of a closed session, and so you have to have like a password to get into that because we don't want anybody just to jump into there. And so Michelle says that you're a professional.
Well,
At cutting hair, Michelle? I don't know. Maybe. I'm not ready to commit to letting her. I'm trying not to dehydrate.
I was looking at you. I'm like, what are you doing?
This is the when I get parched, and this is caffeine keeps me going. So that's what this
Would
is.
you like me to hold one of them?
Well, it's kind of warm in here. I'm thinking about opening that door. Does it feel warm in here? I'm gonna hang on. Wait right here. I'm just gonna crack this door. Y'all stay right there. Hopefully that doesn't mess up. You better
Unless
monitor.
Like, like wanders.
You better monitor the sound. There might be a dog. There might be a dog or a goat or a chicken run into the doorway here. We may have a special guest of a dog, a chicken, a goat. Might be my dad. Who knows? Who knows around here? But just will. But my goodness, it was warm in here, isn't it? And so I want to drink coffee, but I'm drinking coffee and it's so hot, so I had to go to the beverage here to cool me down. Hey, there's Miss Retha Alexander.
Yes.
Nice to see Retha. She said, hi, RCC Kingdom family. Hello, Retha. Nice to see you. I thought I saw Becca Kipp jump on earlier. Becca, if you're out there, baby, hello, hello. How you doing? I hope things are going well for you. I hope everybody had a pretty good day. How's everybody's week going?
Yeah.
See, you can actually comment. You
Yeah.
can write. And so hopefully everybody's having I know it's only Wednesday, but hopefully you're having a really good week. Liana said, what's your dad, a chicken? No, Dad has chickens.
These are some people from YouTube that are watching and
Got some
tuned
folks
in.
from YouTube. David Gill from YouTube and Ivy Walker. Hello, Ivy. Hello, David.
And
There's Nikki. Nikki is joining us on YouTube. Her and, I don't know if Colin's with her because he
think I
works
saw-
all the time, but Nikki's on there. Hey, baby girl, hope you're doing well. I miss you so much. In fact, I miss everybody.
I
My
know.
goodness. I'm ready to be in a worship service.
Yes.
I'm ready to get with some live music and get with some church folks and just throw down. I am so ready.
Yes.
I really am.
It will be a hot mess on that day.
I see Rosie Posey joined us. There's Stacy. She just joined us. Stacy, we just got the update from your mama concerning Kevin. She gave us the update, and we had prayer for him here just a moment ago, and we'll keep praying. And Stacy, looks like she started working. You have to work remotely today. You say you started back to work. Well, that's a good thing. How many eggs does one chicken lay? One a day.
Pretty sure.
Typically one a day. And Dwayne and Michelle are on here, so they'll know.
Yeah,
they'll know better than I do. I do see a happy birthday to April on there, and so it is April Nichols' birthday. And I was going to text her earlier, and then I thought, no, I'm going on live stream, so I wish a happy birthday here. And before I could get to it, Michelle got it. So, April, if you are watching, and I'll probably still shoot her a text just in case she's not watching, because I know she's working and all that. So, Robert, tell your wife, Pastor said happy birthday, or Pop said happy birthday. And see, there you go, Robert. Michelle knows all about chicken eggs.
Mm-hmm.
One a day. Well, what do you got, baby? I haven't really seen you today, even though we've been here. I've been outside. I was out. I was walking the goats today. We do have goats, by the way. We have 3 of them, and things have started to green up around here a little bit. And the pen that they're in, of course, they've been in there all fall and winter, and there's not a whole lot of there's no greenery in there where they are. Now we feed them hay and we feed them oats and things like that, but they are goats like to browse. They're not grazers. You know, cows are grazers. They'll graze in a pasture, but goats are browsers. They're like a deer. They want to browse. They'll just start eating, and they'll just walk and eat, and they'll eat thorns and sticks and leaves and poison ivy, They eat everything. They just eat. And they haven't really been able to do much browsing, but I noticed it was a decent day today. It was a little cool out.
Yeah.
But so I went out and just kind of took the goats on a little walk and walked them around and let them browse some, and spent a little time outside, spent some time hanging out with Dad as well. And so that was kind of fun. So I haven't really got to see you today.
No, I was inside. I
made you lunch. I did cook her lunch today.
Yes, he did. It was really good too.
Lunch/dinner.
Yes. Listened to worship music all day. Just put on my playlist and let it play, and just was able to. It was a great day just to sit and kind of.
Did the Lord? Did you hear anything? Any whispers from the Lord?
It's just, I guess the main thing, the last week or so, just we were even talking about it, that the love, the showing love and being more proactive in expressing it, not just by words, but being able to demonstrate it also. And it doesn't have to be anything huge, but just sending a text or an email, or just praying, just saying, hey, I'm praying for you, or reaching out that way, a little note or anything like that. But just, I guess I've been resting in that whole love thing, and the kingdom family and what that looks like, and especially during this time of being in the house. And I know we our kingdom family, and for the longest time I can honestly say that I just saw the kingdom family as the family that attended our church, like in those 4 walls of Riverside.
That's good.
And that's who I thought, my kingdom family, that is who that is. And since we've been on this time in the in lockdown, I've always been just kind of pouring into me more of, no, it's not just that, it's outside the 4 walls. We're kingdom family with all.
Yeah, that's good.
With especially I think doing this online and being able to reconnect with people that the church that we grew up in, or people who may have moved away, or even people who go to different churches but we still live close together. We're all kingdom family, and having that, I guess.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. It is interesting that because we've had to because of the coronavirus and because of the we're not able to get out and connect with people in a regular church building like we used to be able to do. This has kind of forced us into really adapting to and utilizing technology more so. Now our church has an incredible tech team and very talented tech team,
Yes.
and we've
Blessed.
always made the investment in live stream cameras. You know, we're willing to make that investment. But you know what's interesting is I know we did it, but I just really never paid much attention to it. I never considered it, never thought about it. I knew that, you know, there were people watching us. I knew that there were people watching us, you know, from all over, but I still just never really paid much attention to it. But it wasn't until we were on here last week that we were starting to connect from people from Florida and West Virginia and other places in Maryland,
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, and so that was Delaware. And so, man, that was really awesome. And so it does. And so I said to Tina, I was like, you know, I think maybe God is maybe wanting us to kind of expand our kind of broaden our horizon and say, obviously the people that are in the building with us on a regular
yes.
basis is extremely vital to us and very important to us, and we love them dearly. But I'm starting to realize that we could have a greater reach because of the technology that we have before us, and that we're able to utilize that and connect with other people. And so and that's just been a joy,
Yeah.
because I'm able to interact with people that I haven't interacted with since they were, you know, gosh, it almost feels like another lifetime ago.
Yeah.
When you're a pastor, you live many lifetimes. It's every 10 years, it's another lifetime. And so, but that's just been remarkable. That's been really good. And Tina and I were really excited about just joining in with you guys again tonight. Again, I don't really have anything super formal other than just to interact with you and see how you're doing and you know, maybe share a thought here and there out of the Word of God. We don't know, but yeah, it's been just remarkable to be able to just really connect with a lot of people through social media and through this live stream. Something I never really considered. You know, we're always used to, you know, you teach and preach and you minister to those people that are just right in front of you, but what we're discovering is they're not just right in front of us, they're all over.
Yeah.
We have people from Alaska. You said someone from
Yes.
Alaska joined in on the live stream.
India.
From India.
So we have everywhere. I think when we prior to this, when we would think about you know, the internet or live streaming, it didn't. To me, it didn't seem like, I don't know, like they're real people, I guess, because you didn't really interact, I guess. That's just how I'm seeing it. But then now it's like when I can see, oh, wow, you know, I can see people that I've known, or
There's
they're
Tammy.
able to,
Tammy's back on.
they're
Hi,
able
Tammy.
to interact. It's like, so when we do get to a point where we go back and we're able to have services at church, I think it keeps us aware that when we're talking to the camera, that there are actual hundreds, thousands of people out there that are listening and praying along and are a part of what we're doing.
Yeah, but they're able to engage with us.
Yes.
They're able to track with us. We're able to engage with them and track with them. So that's been really, really, really good. So good stuff. Hey, there's Abby Lilly.
Hey.
Hello, Abby. I haven't seen her in forever. I haven't seen anybody in forever. They're all locked down. There's Carmen Trimbali, my man Carmen. At what time of the day was Adam created? It's during the daytime. I actually did a great study on Adam and Eve in Genesis chapter 1. I can give you hours and hours and hours and hours of notes on that, Carmen. I certainly could. If you're asking what day he was created on, it was the 6th day that he was created. And then right after that, the 7th day was the Sabbath, the day of rest. Incidentally, I found that quite interesting that there's Christine McKelvey. Christina McKelvey Dawson. I got to get their names right because Cher was on here last week, and I said Sherith, and she had a conniption. It's not Sherith, it's Cher. So it's not just Christina McKelvey, it's Christina McKelvey Dawson. So, but I know it's Christina
It's hard,
McKelvey.
yes.
So, hello, Christina McKelvey Dawson. So, oh, he says just before Eve. Ba-da-ba. Thanks, Carmen. I got a story to tell you about Carmen Trimble if y'all want to hear it.
Oh, yes, do tell.
It's a funny story. It's funny now. It wasn't funny in the moment, but it's funny now.
I'm sure Carmen's waiting.
Carmen, are you waiting for me to tell this story about you? Carmen is
Yeah.
just one of my favorite people. He's just a great guy. Him and Stacy are wonderful
Yes.
people. They moved to Pennsylvania a while back, and so I don't get to see them much anymore. And so, but they're just always been really good to me and you. They've been good to my mother. They've been
Yes.
good to our church. Carmen and Stacy have just been wonderful people to our church. And so there was one time where I took Carmen on a hunting trip with me. We have property in West Virginia, and we took Carmen down there hunting with us. And I was playing the role of the deer hunting guide, and Carmen was going along for the ride, and I was guiding him to shoot a deer. And we had taken my truck, and the property that we owned had really nice roads on them at the time, and I was able to drive him out in the truck across our property looking for deer. We found one, and I pointed it out to him, and I said, "There's a buck. Get ready to shoot it." And he and now I've got binoculars on, and I'm looking in binoculars at this buck, and he goes, "Okay, I see it." And he gets his gun lined up to shoot it, and I'm watching this deer, ready for him to shoot because I want to be able to see it, so I can see where he hits it, and in case there's a bad shot, or I wanted to make sure that he definitely hit this deer. And so I've got the binoculars on him, and Carmen's all set up to shoot this deer, and he squeezes the trigger, and there's this massive loud explosion, and it jarred me, and I jumped and shook real hard. And he said, "Did I hit it?" And I went, "I don't know, but did you hit me?" was what I want to know, because I felt like you shot me. And so here's what happened.
Okay.
I was looking at a deer up on the mountain this way, and Carmen took his gun and had it going across this way underneath me because he saw a deer over on this side of me. Well, I was in the binoculars, so I couldn't see him, and his rifle barrel went right underneath my face. And he was laid across the hood shooting in one direction. I was looking in the other direction, and I wasn't paying any attention to him. So when he squeezed off the round, it was right I wasn't in danger of being hurt by a bullet. Just the percussion sound rang, like my ears were ringing. My head was ringing. And it scared the daylights out of me. And so he said that I hit it, and I went, and then I got the binoculars back. I said, "No, it's still standing there." And I said, "Wait a minute, where are you shooting?" He goes, "I'm shooting at that deer over there." And then I looked, and sure enough, there was another deer, which I did not see, that he was shooting at. But that's my Carmen story, where Carmen, I've got another story, but I'll say that for another day.
Ooh.
But Carmen deafened me and scared
That would have scared me.
the
Just a
daylights
little
out of me. And but so that was my adventures with Carmen at hunting camp. That was a long time ago, so my hearing is much better now. It has recovered. So I have a thought.
Okay.
I was talking to Mom earlier today, and you hear I'm a pastor, and so I've some of the, I don't do a lot of social media stuff, but some of the discussions that I read, or some of the questions that are asked to me, or some of the things that are said to me are compelling, and they make me think. And there are also some thoughts that I have on my own that I research and I study a little bit. And so when it comes to the COVID-19, this virus that's happening, I've heard a couple people say it like this. I heard some people say, "Well, this is the caused by the devil. The devil has brought this on. It's an attack of the enemy." And while I understand where they're coming from with that, and I understand their thought behind that, and then you hear other people say, "Well, this is God. God has, or this is yeah." There's a camp of people that blame the devil for this. The devil brought this on. There's another camp of people that this is God, and God is using this to judge America, and these are the last of times and the end of days, and so this is the judgment of God, And so I had been thinking about that a little bit, and so I'll just throw this thought out there, and y'all can engage and interact with this if you want to. But the thought that I had was this: in Matthew chapter 28, Jesus said, "All authority in heaven and in earth has been given to me." Right? It's Matthew chapter 28. And so the thought is, if all authority in heaven and in earth has been given to Jesus, then how much authority does that leave for the devil? How much authority does that leave for him to be able to, bring this destructive virus that so I had that thought. The other thought I had was that I know the because of a lot of studying and a lot of praying, I've come to know God as just being a kind father, and I have a hard time wrapping my head around the idea that God would use a virus and inflict virus to bring judgment on America or bring judgment against the world, when incidentally it's this sickness seems to be targeting older people. And so I said to Mom and Dad, I said, if God is trying to use this to judge older people or judge the world, I don't know why he's just aiming that at the older generation. That seems kind of odd to me. Well, I just can't see God going, it's time to bring judgment and just time to wake up the world. I think I'll kill all the senior citizens there. Like I just don't see that. Like,
yeah,
I have a hard time wrapping my head around that, thinking, well, is that, I just can't see God doing that. And then you have this thought, and the thought is, the Bible says in Psalms, it says the heavens, even the heavens belong to the earth, or belong to God, but the heavens, even the heavens belong to God, but the earth he has given to the sons of God. And so the earth he's given to us. And so if I really sit and kind of thought about it today, and I didn't do a lot of preparation and a lot of super studying into it today, but the thought that I had was, who is actually responsible for the earth? There's a great question for you. Who's responsible for this planet?
We are.
I didn't know if you was going to answer or not.
I didn't know if we were waiting for some.
You was looking for answers on the screen.
I was like, is anybody answering? We are.
Well, think about it. In the book of Genesis, chapter number 1, God created Adam and Eve, and he put them in a garden, and he gave them a job, right? He gave them a job, and yes, it was for him to be in fellowship with them, and yes, it was for them to, I think I said Sunday, I made the comment about our sole job on earth, or our sole vocation on earth wasn't just to worship God, although that's very critical. Yes, we're supposed to worship God. Psalm 148 talks about the waters and the trees and the animals all worshiping God, and man's included in that, and some man's supposed to worship God. But I'm saying when you read Genesis chapter 1 and Genesis chapter 2, when man was created, you discover in there that he gives man a vocation, and man's vocation is for the garden, and man's vocation in the garden is to expand the garden and expand it around the world. Because it was be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth, not subdue the garden, subdue the earth, the whole earth, and have dominion over the earth. And the vocation was to expand the garden. And so we were made in his image and his likeness, so that we're to manage and steward. And I know that sounds a lot like dominion theology, and I know some people get a little weirded out by that, and I'm not jumping all the way headlong into dominion theology, but I will say that from what I've studied and read in the book of Genesis, and when I consider that Jesus says in Matthew chapter 5 that the meek shall inherit the earth, I just feel like some of the responsibility, maybe all of the responsibility. I'd love to hear what some of you out there are thinking, or if you thought about that, what you may have to say about that. I'd love to hear your ideas on it. I did see Mike Dorsey on here, and I thought I saw another pastor. I thought I saw Norma Tilton jump on, but I can't see everything on there. So Norma, if you're on there, God bless you. Glad you made it on here with us. But the idea of, that and maybe there's not an easy answer. Obviously, I understand that. But the responsibility, I think, lies with us.
Yeah.
I think we're the stewards. I think we're the ones that he's put in charge to kind of manage. And Right, I agree with you, Mike. Mike says no one wants to accept that responsibility. And I didn't see what Liana said. Let me read what she says real quick, and if you have something to say while I'm reading that, you can. Satan doesn't have authority. He can only deceive and divide. With us being quarantined, some may say he's successful, but since we are continually pressing into our secret and chasing after him, you're right. I agree with that, Liana. Satan, listen, let me say it to you like this. The only authority that Satan is able to have, because Jesus said all authority has been given to him, and the only authority that Satan's able to gain is when we decide to come into agreement with him. It's in the areas of our life that we come into, in the areas in our lives where we come into agreement with him. And so, if you consider the Adam the scene in the garden, if you consider that scene. God gave dominion to Adam and Eve, right? He gave dominion to them, so they had dominion, and Satan did not have dominion. Satan did not have authority, which is why he did not come in like a bull in a china shop. The Bible says he came in, very subtly, and so he came in very subtle, and he was able to get Eve to come into agreement with what it was that he was saying, and not into agreement with what it was that God was saying, and so. Mike, I see you put some scriptures up there. Mike, can you just put the text in? Because I don't want to try to stop and look it up. And I know that may be, just Google and paste it on there, Mike. Paste it. And I'm telling the computer guy how to put stuff on the, hi, Lisa Beth. So the places that the authority that Lucifer, Satan's able to gain over us is the places that we decide to come into agreement with him. I think that's why it said that that my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Yeah. We're destroyed because we don't have the understanding we don't have the understanding, and if you don't have the understanding, you end up coming into agreement with an inferior being. You end up coming to an inferior thought that Satan may put in front of you, and the moment you start coming into agreement with that, it's almost as if you have forfeited, that dominion and that authority that Jesus rescued and that Jesus got back. It said that when he came back, Resurrection Sunday, which we just celebrated, he came back with the keys of death and hell, and I heard some, they talk about keys represent authority, but keys also represent access. Yes. It's access to the kingdom, and they could also, I guess, and to some degree, represent some type of authority. But Jesus said in Matthew 28 that all authority in heaven and earth has been given to me, and then he turns to his disciples and say, now you go and you make disciples of all nations. The inference is because I have the authority. I'm commissioning you to go. It's because I have the authority. I'm authorizing you to go. You're going in the back in I believe it was Luke chapter 5, I think it's Luke chapter 5 and Luke chapter 10, where or maybe it's Luke 9 and Luke 10 rather, where he sends out the 12 disciples and then he sends out the 70. He sends them out to heal the sick, to preach the kingdom, to heal the sick. To cast out devils and to preach the kingdom. He was authorizing them to do that, and so it's us being here on the earth that as it relates to this what we see happening in the world, what we see happening in our country, what we see happening even in the political landscape. I think the thing that maybe God wants us to learn, or maybe what God's trying to teach us, is that as believers, there is a degree of authority that we're able to exercise and that we're able to have, and if we just start teaching that we've been authorized,
yes,
that we have the ability to change the climate spiritually, we can change the climate physically. Why? We're made in the image and likeness of God. I love what I think Mike put it up there, Romans. I think that was Mike, or maybe it was Michelle. Somebody put it up there, Romans 8:22, that all the earth is, the creation is groaning, waiting for the sons and daughters of God to be unveiled. And so, this is a. So I guess my point a thought that I'm having is that, instead of trying to blame it on the devil or lay it at the feet of God, we're the ones who are here on the earth that have been authorized by God, And if that's the case, then we have the I like what Mike said. He said, "Respect my authority." Mike, I gotta have you up here
I
on the
know.
live stream with me, man. I'll hit you up this week, and I'll schedule time for you to come up and be with us. Absolutely, it's like we've been authorized, and so it's well. Then the question comes: well, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
What is that? What does that look like?
Yeah. What does that look like?
What does that look like? What do? We pray.
Mm-hmm.
We trust God and we pray. And Mike had sent Brother George and I just a wonderful text message last night, and I won't read it, Mike, here. And if you want to talk about it, you can. Mike just sent an awesome text message, and he was reminding us of Mark chapter 4, where I think the last time we were together on a Sunday morning, I preached from Mark chapter 4, and this is the story about Jesus being asleep in the back part of the ship and in the lower part of the ship, and they were crossing over to the Gadarenes, and a storm had rose and was beating on the ship, and the disciples became fearful and thought they were going to drown, and so they went and they woke Jesus up, and they said that they had to shake him to wake him up, and then Jesus got up and spoke to the wind, and he spoke to the waves, and he calmed the storm, he stilled the waters, and then he turned to the disciples and said, where is your faith? The inference there is, as if Jesus was saying, you woke me up to handle a situation that I've authorized you to handle. That blows my mind.
Yeah.
I mean, that blows my mind. And I know some people out there thinking, wait a second, you're actually saying we can speak to the winds and the waves, and well, Jesus said that we can speak to a mountain.
Mm-hmm.
He said, if you say to this mountain, but be cast down into the sea, then it'll cast down into the sea.
Mm-hmm.
And so, why? Because you're made in the image and likeness of God. How was the earth created? He spoke it. Come on, babe, stay with me. He spoke it. I'll let you talk.
No.
I've talked. Nope. Fire away.
Oh my gosh. No, I think that at least growing up, we just had, at least I speak for myself, I didn't think that I had the authority to do that myself. I always would go to a spiritual leader in the church, or someone who I thought was way more spiritual than I. Even if it came down to prayer or a sickness in my own body. I'm not saying that you don't go to people and have them pray for you, but I also have that in myself to call those things and to pray, and he does answer my prayers, and he does hear me. I just remember being at work when I worked in the school system, and a lady asked me, well, Tina, can you pray for, I don't even know what it was for, but she said, can you pray for my husband? And I said, most certainly I can. I said, but he can hear your prayers just as he hears mine. I want you to try teaching them that they have that same thing, that they can pray themselves, and he does hear them, and they have the authority to go directly to him. And,
well, but let me ask you this though, but is it just, so the disciples went and woke Jesus up, said they shook him and woke him up.
mm-hmm.
All right. So this goes beyond just praying.
Well, yeah.
Because if they went and woke Jesus up, to me, that's no different than us praying. Not that Jesus is asleep,
Yeah.
but when you go to Jesus and so we've been taught that, you get into trouble, then pray.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. There's power in prayer. I'm not saying we shouldn't pray.
Mm-hmm.
You should definitely pray.
Yes.
But Jesus still, after he calmed the waves and the wind, turned to his disciples and said, well, where's your faith?
Mm-hmm.
What about your faith? And so we were taught that, well, it takes faith. Is it faith to go and to pray and talk to Jesus? Is that faith?
No, the faith would be to
You to turn to the storm.
exactly. That's
I'm not saying I'm not minimizing prayer in no way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm not minimizing prayer at all. We just prayed a minute ago. Pray, 100%. Jesus is at the right hand of the Father, ever making intercession for you and me. He's making intercession for us.
Mm-hmm.
So absolutely pray. I agree. Pray. But the disciples, for all intents and purposes, for them going and shaking Jesus and waking him up would be equivalent to our bringing petitions before the Lord. It'd be the equivalent of us praying.
Yeah.
And it was almost as if he was saying, you know, not that he was telling us to neglect prayer. That's not the point. But this was something that, you know, you can handle this.
He equipped them to do it. He's and what that's big, because I don't think, even for myself, you know, I know that I could speak to certain things, and like if I was on the boat and I had that authority to speak, and that fear, I think fear just creeps in too easily. What if, like the thought that creeps in, what if it doesn't?
Okay. Great point. Mm-hmm. So then you say, okay, well then fear comes in. So now what we're dealing with is are you convinced enough? Are you convinced enough to know that I have the same authority to do this? I can do this as well. See, I'm being convinced. And so maybe the issue, look, people are writing things on here, and I can't, let me read what people are saying, and then I'll jump back into it. Kat says, I wonder if it is also, what do we actually want to do? Great question. Mm-hmm. Do we really want to help people? Hopefully we do. We have to connect with them and get out of our comfort zone to meet them. Yeah, absolutely. Which is a little bit challenging to do because we're in a quarantine situation. I've struggled with that myself, Kat, and if you got any creative ideas, I'd love to hear that. But yeah, that's been a point of contention for me personally. Let's see. Tammy says, I firmly believe that my prayers and faith have kept Rihanna here 19 years past her life expectancy.
Exactly.
Great testimony.
That
Beautiful testimony, Tammy. Can you go back there? Somebody go back and see. Okay, whoever's got control of it. Got to have the faith and believe in him. Absolutely, Tammy. I believe that. I believe it's prayers. I believe it's, and I love something Mike said. I don't know if people saw what Mike had put on there a little while ago, and I love something he said. He said both of those, whether you're praying or whether you're speaking to the situation, it's both avenues. It's both of them release your faith. Both of them are ways to release faith. And so then I guess it comes down to, do I have am I convinced enough to believe that I'm actually authorized to speak to storms? I'm actually authorized to be able to calm a fevered brow, like Tammy had said about her daughter, who has lived 19 years past what the doctor said that Rihanna was supposed to live. She was only supposed to live so many years, and here she's lived 19 years beyond that, if I read that correctly.
Yes.
And so that's Tammy releasing this faith, whether it's in prayer or whether it's just speaking over her daughter. Just awesome stuff. It's beautiful. And so it's interesting because here you have a mom who's, you know, there's just something rises up on the inside of you that just, this is a life or death situation, and then you're compelled to exercise and just.
There is no other answer but in your mind especially when with your child, that when you go, that he is going to do it. There is no other option in your mind. There's nothing. So having that confidence in yourself, and just that authority in yourself, knowing who you are, and to be able to say that in all situations, like not just for, just your, that fervency that you have, or that with your something that's so super close, but having it with everything. It's like just reading Tammy's just made me emotional. It's just because I just know that it's when it's something that so close to you, that you go in and it's like, this is it. I need you to do this, and I know that you can, and I know I'm coming in and praying for this, for my daughter to be healed, for her to outlive what the doctors have. There's
a fervency that comes with that. Mm-hmm. That's just a fervency. That's I'm getting a hold of the
letting go.
Not letting go of this thing. It's the woman with the issue of blood, who had the issue of blood for 12 years. If I could just touch the hem of his garment, there was, according to the law, she was unclean, and she should have been nowhere in the vicinity of Jesus. Nevertheless, grabbing a hold of his garment or touching him, because anything, the law in Leviticus indicated because of her issue of blood and her being unclean, anybody she came into contact with, they became unclean, and there was a ceremonial cleansing that needed to take place, and here she was, I'm at the end of my rope.
Yeah.
I've spent all my money up on people to heal me, and they were unable to heal me. I've spent it up on physicians, and they weren't able to do it. And she heard about Jesus, and if I could just grab the hem of his garment, if I could just get close, that's that. I am convinced.
Yeah.
I am so convinced that I will push past she was willing to push past what the Levitical code was, the law. I'm not that I'm advocating that you break the law, but there was a place in her where she was at a place of such desperation that let me get past this and grab onto his. If I could just touch the hem of his garment, I'll be made whole. And the Bible said that Jesus stopped and said, "Somebody touch me." I love this story because it's so interesting, because he stops and he says, "Well, somebody touch me." And the disciple says, "Are you kidding me? You have crowds of people bumping up against you. Everybody's touching you.
Yeah.
How do we know?" He said, No. He said, there's something different about this touch. This touch caused something to be released out of my world into that world there. There was a touch that got a hold of me that caused me to release something that I otherwise wasn't ready to release just yet. Now that's faith.
Yeah.
Faith is being able to get a hold of him that would cause him to release something that maybe he wasn't ready to release just yet. But he had to release it because faith stepped in and grabbed onto the hem of his garment. So he had to release virtue. He said, I felt virtue leave my body. I felt healing leave my body. And so he couldn't violate the fact that faith is what moved him, and faith is what caused this release out of him. Caused him to release something, and man, that's a great story. I love that story, and we definitely see that. But I think you're right. I think it's becoming convinced. I think that's where I'm at in my journey with God. Is I've taught it and I've heard it preached, and I may have preached it myself, but I'm at this place where it's like I'm having to spend time in the secret place with God, so that I can become more increasingly convinced that I am actually made in his image and likeness. Because for years I've lived under this idea that I can only have the confidence to feel like I'm convinced to be able to do that as if I do everything just perfect and just right all the time.
Yes.
In other words, it's about the way that if I perform good for the next 3 or 4 days, then I've earned God's approval,
exactly.
and he'll authorize me to do this. And I've lived under that for the longest time, that you have to fast for 40 days and 40 nights, and you have to, and it all became about this: how well do I perform? How well do I, instead of just stopping long enough to say, you know what? He loves me.
Yeah.
John 17 says he loves me with the same love that he loved Jesus with.
It's like what Jordan said up here about it's knowing who you are, being convinced that you are a son and a daughter. It's not just, I'm an attendee, or I'm just a Christian. I am a daughter, and that is like the heaviness that's on that, and just having that revelation of who I am and the authority that he's given me, and all other things fade away, and just to know exactly it's like, if Sky and Jace came to you and needed something, and you wouldn't be picking and choosing, oh well, this one over here did a whole lot more, so I'm going to make sure that this one is safe and not this one over here. It's like it doesn't happen that way. He's too loving. He's
I think it's for me just I think the more time I spend with him, not that I'm spending time with him to generate the confidence to be able to go out and do these incredible exploits or miracles or whatever. That's not it at all. Number one, the goal is to spend time with me, and then or to spend time with him, and the byproduct of me spending time with him is, understanding and realizing that, he loves me, and he's authorized me, and I am one of his children, and just when you spend that time in his presence, you become more increasingly convinced that, it's not whether I have a good day or a bad day. I'm loved by him. He cares about me, and he loves me, and I love the fact that comes from me just spending time in his presence, spending time worshiping, spending time reading his word, spending time really just kind of quiet.
Yeah. Those are my favorite times, especially with you and I, just being able to sit in the living room when we go in, we turn the worship music on, and we're just sitting there just with him.
Yeah.
And it's just like a peace. And even though, everything that's going on and the uncertainty, and it's just a peace that comes over. And
think about this. I'm glad you said that, because Jesus, when he spoke to the storm in Mark chapter 4, he said, "Peace, be still." That's what he said. He spoke to it and he said, "Peace, be still." Listen, you can only sow what you're in possession of. Did you hear what I just said? You can only sow, you can only give what you yourself are in possession of. If you're not in possession of peace, you can't sow peace. So it's hard for you to sow peace. It's hard for you to give peace. Jesus said, "I give you peace, not peace as the world gives, but I give you my peace." But you can only sow, you can only give what it is that you're in possession of, what you have. And Jesus was able to look at that storm and say, "Peace, be still." Why? Because he was in possession of peace. Why? He is the Prince of Peace. And so maybe the reason that there are storms still swirling around us, and maybe there's the reason there's still chaos swirling around us at times, is because we haven't been able to sow or to speak or to convey peace, because we ourselves are not in possession of peace.
Yeah.
And so then you say, well, how does that happen?
Spending time with him.
Spending time with him. Rest.
Just rest.
Rest is what does that.
And it's like right now, it's almost like a forced rest. You have.
Think about it.
You're
in quarantine. You have to rest.
All the time. That.
There's no soccer games and baseball games, and you don't have to take little Johnny down to the baseball park, and you don't have to go to dance classes, and you don't have to. There's no place to be. I mean, you can work from home, and that basically involves rolling out of your bed, walking 3 steps to your desk, and sitting down, and or some of you don't even get out of bed. You just open the laptop right up on your lap there and go to work. And so it's you have time.
Yeah. It's like he's given you. I mean, when you look at it, you can. It's right here for you to be able to embrace it and say, okay, now I have the time.
Yeah.
There's no that excuse has been taken away. There you have the time.
Yeah. Well, listen. Here's my thought. I heard Damon Thompson say this earlier, and I loved it. He said, "There's no excuse for you feeling agitated right now, because if you feel agitated right now, I think the point he was making, or the way he said it was, because we have the Holy Spirit, because we have the Spirit of God, then there's really no excuse why we say we should be agitated, because the same Spirit that raised Christ Jesus from the dead, which we just celebrated on Sunday, quickens our mortal body. That's the same type of peace that we should be in possession of. That's the peace that we ought to have. And so really there is no, so if the reason that we're agitated cannot be laid at the blame of God, it has to be, well, I'm just not in a place where I'm resting. And God has created this, and so we could say that the COVID-19 or whatever it is has created this idea, or created this atmosphere where we actually get to rest. And listen, here's one thing that I'm learning: rest is not about inactivity.
No.
Rest is not just about inactivity. It's not just about, part of it maybe you need to sit in a hammock and just swing in the sunshine. That some of you may need to do that, but rest isn't just about inactivity. Rest is about what's happening internally. You know, anxiety and stress and listen. We live in the Mid-Atlantic, and the Mid-Atlantic is one of the most busiest corridors in all of America, probably all of the world. It is the New York is the city that never sleeps. So that's a city that doesn't rest, basically, and so you know, and where has the COVID-19 hit the worst? Right here, from Washington D.C. on up to you know, Connecticut. You know, that seems to be the worst spot, and we're being put into this place where we're sheltering in place. And I understand some of us are still working from home, but you know, there's a lot of things we're unable to do. We're not going out to restaurants. We're not going out to church services. We're not going out to ball games. We're kind of staying at home. You're not going out to the movies. Mm-mm. No restaurants. No concerts.
No.
You're home, and there's nothing to watch on TV unless you want to watch the Tiger Guy, and that's kind of boring. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to promote that though. So yeah, that's a man, some good stuff. I'm trying to just catch up and see what people are reading there. There's Brenda Weaver. Hi, Miss Brenda Weaver. Good to see you. I love Betty saying, Betty Reeves is, I'm thoroughly enjoying my time at home with family. Absolutely, Betty. Amen to that. Amen. I've been enjoying that for a while, and I've been enjoying the just to be able to decompress and slow down a little bit, and just to. Let me ask you guys this: do you think that when they start loosening up restrictions, that it's just going to be back to business as usual? Do you think you're going to be able to return and go back to the way it has always been? Is that number one? Is that something that you're looking for, or number two? Do you think that's something that's even possible? I'm just asking. I don't really necessarily have an answer. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Those of you that are on the live stream on YouTube and on Facebook, I got both feeds in front of me now. I can see them both. Mm-hmm. So, what is your thoughts as it relates to when they start to, you know, because they're starting to talk now about, you know, reopening America, I guess is the way they're putting it. How do you think that's going to look? How do you think that's going to feel? I see a couple saying, I hope not. Let's see. I don't think we need. I can't see what that is. Around. No. I'm not saying. No. I'm not saying around two. I'm not saying that we need a round two. I'm saying that when this is over, when they feel like we flattened the curve, when we feel like the curve's been flattened and we've already passed the critical phase, and they start to reopen America, they start to let you go back to work, they start to loosen up all the restrictions. Do you think that people are just gonna? Oh, you're saying, okay, I get what they're saying. They're saying that if we go back into that, there's the potential, the propensity for a second wave to come. And so, I've read a little bit about that, but I haven't honestly delved too much into it. I've kind of, you know, tried to do the best that I can to avoid some of the stuff that's been in the news, just because I allowed myself the first few weeks to become inundated with it, and it's kind of dominated me. But I'm not talking about. I'm saying that when they, you know, when they can scientifically, I guess from a scientific or a medical standpoint, say
whenever that may be,
whenever that is it? Do you feel like that we're going to it's going to be a return back to business as usual, setting aside the idea of a second wave? Let's you know, that they're, you know, I don't know one way or the other. I'm with the rest of you. I absolutely pray and hope that there's nothing like that, but so
yeah, I think that personally, I think because of it might be when we do start coming together, people might be more on edge to not be, like, they'll still keep the distancing.
You think there'll be social distancing?
I think probably keep it up for a little while.
Not my
Not our,
Riverside people.
not our church. No,
I know those people.
no. I think the one thing I definitely took for granted was fellowship, and I think that's definitely something that's been highlighted during this time. Is that as much as I love my church family and everybody, I think I still took it for granted. I just assumed
Yeah.
that it would always be there,
Yeah.
or you could come or go when you wanted, and it would always just be there when I needed it. It would be there, and now that it's not, and I don't have that opportunity to, worship with my fellow worshipers, or just eat, have coffee with Kingdom family, and it's just I'm definitely going to be more aware to fully enjoy those moments.
You think there'll be a run on toilet paper?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was curious, and what maybe your thoughts were on that. I don't know that I don't know that it'll go back to the way that it's always been. I mean, and by that I don't mean that in a negative way. I don't mean that in a way that that we're going to be a people that are going to be fearful and we're going to be afraid, and that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that here's my hope and my prayer that because of where we are now, that maybe this will awaken something on the inside of us. I saw where Brenda Weaver said something about, there'll be one thing's for sure from a practical standpoint, and I said this too, that we will become a people that we'll learn to be more sanitary, more than likely. We'll learn to wash our hands, and hand sanitizer will be the norm for a while.
Which would be good.
But I think what you were saying, which I loved, is that there's certain things that maybe we took for granted prior to being quarantined.
Yes.
And I'm going to learn to place value on those things and not take them for granted. For example, being able to go to church and worship with people. Being able to, when you see people at your job, or see people in the grocery store that you may know, or Shane, when you see people at the bowling alley, that maybe those conversations will be a little more meaningful. Maybe they'll be a little deeper. Maybe they won't be because maybe you're right. Maybe we've have taken things for granted, and now all of a sudden those things are and so hopefully this will. So what you're saying is that maybe this will move us into just valuing things that we have taken, relationships and other things that we may have taken for granted. I think that's a great point. And I guess that's what I mean by when I say I don't know that things will go back to just normal. When I say that, I mean like what you're saying. I think there'll be things that we've taken for granted that maybe we won't take for granted anymore. So that when we get invited to a cookout, or we get invited to a birthday party, or we get, we're just going to okay, let me ask you guys this. I saw where Betty Reeves put on there that she has loved being home with her family. And I know Biff and Betty, awesome people. They're family-oriented people, very family-oriented people. So they've I'm not saying they needed to, but I know for us, we've rediscovered what it is to connect as a family and to be family here. And so have you guys discovered that, just the value of appreciating one another more? And so I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Did that make sense, what I just said? I'm trying to read still.
Yes, it did. I mean, now that we
Amen, Brother Mike.
We live in the apartment. It's a smaller setting.
Amen, Carmen.
And we have,
just don't touch my mask. I got you.
Jace is, right there, but it's because we're constantly, with each other. The appreciation of who he is, and Sky, just everybody, you get to, you see them all day, and it's just, I am enjoying that, like those times with the kids and just hearing them laugh, and,
Not me, they're obnoxious a lot of times.
His little dances, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jace does this dancing. He like all the time. He's dancing, and Jace is not small.
No.
There's nothing small about this boy. He's 6'3", 6'4", and 280 pounds. This dude's a monster, and he likes to dance. Usually somewhere between midnight and 2 in the morning,
Yeah.
when nobody should be dancing.
Yep.
Speaking of loud,
I heard you say I was annoying.
I did not say anything about you being
and
annoying.
obnoxious and annoying, poke your head in here, baby. That's my baby girl, everybody. That's Sky Bell.
I just heard that I was annoying, so I had to come in here.
I did not say you were annoying.
Yes, your mother did say you was annoying. I try to defend you, but
That's not true.
Jeez. Setup's nice.
we had to. Oh, you haven't been to the studio?
No,
Check
I
it out.
have
This is
not.
our
Yeah, this is nice.
this is our TV studio. We're legit.
Go ahead, Stewie.
We are legit. Good stuff here. So anyway,
We were just talking about the appreciation of being.
you've been at home. You've
Yeah.
been off work and been home for. Now we know Zach's still working, but hello, Karen Lawson. But you've been home for a minute.
I love it.
Is it going to be hard to go back to work?
Yes.
Tammy, you're down there in the hills of West Virginia. Do you have a lot of COVID cases down there where you're at? I see Tammy Blackwell on there. Do you have? Is that like a?
Christine wants to see me.
You have to come over.
Christine says, "Get in the frame." Here, I'll move out the way.
No, gosh.
This is not the Sky Show.
Push the chair over, and I can get another seat.
Oh, okay. Let me keep it. Oh, I don't want Well, don't mind my no makeup.
I sat on this chair. My God, it's cold.
Oh my gosh. We could have switched. I'm wearing pants. Wow. Setup. It's so cool.
There's people over here. You can read where they're saying they're making comments.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's right here too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can read
it's
it
right
on
here,
there.
too.
And there's a Tammy
Yeah, I
says
do
they're
miss
starting
Aunt
starting to
Pam.
see some there now. Oh, Lisa Beth, by the way, the
This is so cool.
pineapple upside down cake.
Yeah, I actually don't eat that, but I ate it the last time and it was so good.
Yeah, Sky doesn't eat
I don't.
pineapple upside down cake, but she did not turn that one down.
I did not.
She ate it. She said, "Is that powdered sugar in your beard, or is that?" No, that's gray, Lisa Beth, and I'm wanting to get rid of it.
Calling you
That's
out.
why. Listen, Lisa Beth, you weren't. I don't think you were on initially earlier because you came in a little bit later. But I'm actually thinking about. I'm going to trim this all back, high and tight. I'm going to make it high and tight.
Told him I'd do it, but he said no.
And Tina said she would do it, but I got scared.
Scared.
And I was like, nee. Maybe I'll let Brandy do it.
Yeah, probably. Good idea.
I think of my shirt.
I've been saying I love these shirts. I didn't know that Lewis made them, but now that I
Lewis-
know.
Louis Alexander.
I know.
Makes these
like, I want
shirts.
one
Yeah,
now.
I know. I didn't know that. That's cute.
Yeah.
That's
And
really
so
cute.
I'm promoting Lewis's shirt. You can if you're friends with. Well, Lewis isn't on Facebook, but
No,
he is.
Christine Alexander is on Facebook. You can hit up Christine. No,
Lewis
there's
is-
Lewis. Lewis says, "You better not cut that thing, Pops." Oh, he's
That's
saying not
what
to.
I'm
He's saying not to
saying.
cut the beard. I just want to trim it up some. That's all. I'll trim it back. By the time y'all see me, it'll grow back in. I just want to trim it back. I'm not gonna go without. I'm not gonna go without any.
No, I know.
Biff said there's 2 cases of the virus in Welch, West Virginia. Biff, that's because there's only 2 people that live in Welch, West Virginia. The whole entire population of Welch has it. I'm kidding, because that's Tammy lives down in this neck of the woods too.
Sorry, Tammy.
And so Tammy, she says that's where she's at, and so all 2 people in Welch, West Virginia have the corona. The whole population has it. The people in West Virginia have been social distancing for years. It's not a stretch. That's not a hard thing.
Yeah.
Come here, little man. I'll introduce you to one more family member. Come here, Manny.
All this is
This is my
telling me is
little-
that I need a tan.
here.
That's
I'm
right.
looking pale.
That one's a little. Yeah, you look pale enough.
No, I look pale. Like that. It's upsetting.
This is my little doggy. He likes to
That's his dog.
hide under my beard. But this is little man. And he somehow made it in too. I told you this
Sorry.
was This was informal. Well, we did all the spiritual stuff before
I know,
you got
I wait-
here.
I waited.
So now that you're here, we don't have to be
That
spiritual
was
anymore.
nice. I waited.
We don't have to be spiritual because you're here now.
Okay, yeah, sorry. No, I want to be spiritual.
So we could just talk to some folks.
Yes. They can write in and we can.
Yeah, Lisa Beth said in West Virginia they got a PhD in social distancing. That's true. I see Bonnie on there. Hi, Bonnie.
Hey.
Good to see you on there, Bonnie. We saw Taylor on. Was it last week? Taylor was on.
Yes.
We saw you. We saw your daughter on last week. Tammy said, "Yeah, I know you don't sit in traffic." Tammy, listen. Tammy, there are times where I am envious, and especially up here. I was talking. Here's what we figured out. Y'all can double check me if you want to. So we live in Cecil County, which is in the very corner of the state of Maryland. For those of you that are unfamiliar with Maryland, and we're right next to Delaware. In Newcastle County, Delaware, there is over 550,000 people live in Newcastle County, Delaware, which that's not a large county, but there's a lot of people there. And then you want me to close this door? Can you
I think I
hear
hear.
me?
I hear
it.
the other room.
And then in Cecil County, there's over 100,000, shade over 100,000. I'm not sure exactly how many. And then Harford County, over 250,000. And so there is just in this one little area, and this is not a huge area. This is one little area. We've got close to 1 million people. And so Tammy, sometimes I'm envious because in West Virginia, where you're at, you're right. There is no traffic there at all, hardly none at all. So
Everything just slows down.
But I like to visit, but I don't know that I could live there, baby. I love to visit though. Okay, so Taylor's there now with you, Bonnie. Also, I'm glad y'all are doing well. Glad you are doing good. Sky, make your request now.
About what?
Lisa Beth asked
Lisa
you
Beth
what
wants
kind
to
of
make
cake you
something
like.
for you.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh.
pressure's on.
Chocolate anything. Chocolate anything. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cookies. I don't even know if that's a thing.
Chocolate cake and chocolate cookies are a thing.
Then yeah. I meant the cookies part. No chocolate cake is a thing.
You've
I
been
like
quarantined for too long.
All I eat is canned foods. That's all we bought.
That's what Mike Dorsey said.
That's
Mike
all
Dorsey's like,
I
I
eat.
eat canned foods from a bunker.
Oh, I feel like my laugh is probably super loud in these things.
Yes, I know where Lisa Beth and Dan live. There's no traffic there either. They live. The traffic of where Dan and Lisa Beth live consists of buggies and horses. They live where the Amish live.
It's nice.
It's beautiful.
Oh,
Absolutely beautiful.
love it.
She said double chocolate chunk cookies.
Yes.
Oh. Yes to all
Look
that.
at Robert Nickel trying to jump in
I
on that.
know.
Y'all stay away from Lisa Beth now. Now don't be messing up a good thing for my family, peoples. I'm teasing.
Ew, spam.
There's Tanya Sanders. Spam. Hey, baby, I've eaten spam. I've had
can't
spam a
eat
few
that.
times. I've had spam a few times. Yes, I have. Here's Jesse Herrera. How are you, Jesse?
Long time no see.
My goodness, Jesse. I hope you can hear us. Maybe you can. Maybe you can. I hope you can.
I'm sure you can.
Nice to see you on there,
Be
Jesse.
loud.
Hope you're doing well, man. I saw your mama on here last week,
Yep.
and I see you on here this week. So good to see you guys. That's awesome. I love it. Yes, I've eaten spam. I've eaten spam a couple times since being quarantined. Just me, nobody else. Nobody else. Lisa-Beth, nobody else here will eat it. Tanya, nobody else here will eat the spam. I'm the only one that'll eat it. Lisa-Beth calls him the outlaw Jesse.
Spam is the devil's meat.
There's J-Maul. My man, I knew if J-Maul was on here. Jamal always gives me a hard time. Now, Jamal, listen, I didn't eat like a whole can of it. Now, I can cut it. I open it up, and when you open up spam, it's that little pull tab, and then you gotta until it falls out. And when you wipe the slime off of it, and then you cut it up, and then you fry it in a skillet.
If you have to wipe the slime off of any food, I'm not eating
Slime
it.
comes on it.
No, listen. Where is Oompa Loompa at? She should be backing me up on
that's
this.
true. I'm surprised she's
there's
not.
Cheyenne just said it.
Yeah, Cheyenne does because her mama's Hawaiian, and so they eat spam. That's like the redneck steak. So that's Hawaiian steak for those from Hawaii.
Oh, John Jadovich is on.
There's John
Oh, John.
Good to see you. Yes, J-Maul will not. He will not eat spam.
No.
He don't like to talk about spam. He don't want to look at spam. Jamal wants nothing to do with spam. But I don't mind it. Now, I can't eat like big chunks of it. I have to fry it up. Alethea, she likes spam. Karen Lawson does not like spam. Biff can live on spam. I guess maybe it's a hillbilly thing.
Definitely.
Must be.
Now, I have had that spam mitsubi. That's how you say it, Cheyenne. Now, that's pretty good. But it's like fake, to me, it's like fake sushi.
Spam will not be in heaven. Jamal, you don't think spam will be at the marriage supper of the lamb? The marriage supper of the spam.
Spam will not be in heaven.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it will be. I actually saw how spam was made. It is just ham. That's all it is, with probably a truckload of sodium in it. But anyway.
Oh.
All right, well, let me ask you guys. Here, we'll do a little poll. Y'all been quarantined now for, 4 weeks now? 3 or 4 weeks? We have a very diverse group of people on here. Mm-hmm. So you tell me, what's your go-to snack? What is the go-to comfort, whether it's a plate of comfort food, it's a comfort meal, what's been your go-to snack since you've been quarantined this last month? What's been the thing you go to? So just start rattling them out. I want to hear what they are. What's been Scrapple.
I love Scrapple.
Oh, I can live off
Scrapple. is amazing.
And I know
yes,
it's disgusting, but I love Scrapple.
It's so good.
And I'm
Don,
fully aware of what it's made of.
Don loves hog head cheese. I don't even know what hog head cheese is. Linda Caldwell, her staple's been chocolate.
Doritos and cream cheese.
Doritos and cream cheese. Jordan, I need you to unpack that for me. I'm not sure exactly what that looks like.
Allison said Oreos.
I need you to unpack that. John's fiance Allison is here. Her thing is Oreos. Mm-hmm. Allison, hi. We'll see you shortly, baby.
Yes.
Let's see. It's going by real fast.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Brenda Weaver says sweets. Kat Dorsey, peanut butter and jelly. Kat, I've been eating peanut butter. I got peanut butter coming out of my ears, but no jelly.
I have jelly.
Yes, but I don't have jelly here, so I've just been eating plain peanut butter. But Liana's convinced that it's because Tina's punishing me, and so I don't have jelly. What else? We got? Chips and salsa. Yes, Carla, chips and salsa. That's a good thing.
Yes,
Carla,
nachos.
Can I tell you what I did the other day? This might be crazy to y'all. I took cream cheese, stuck it in the microwave, and got it real soft. And then I took salsa dip and poured salsa dip on it. And then I took pork rinds and I dipped the pork rind into the cream cheese and salsa dip and ate it. Now, let me tell you why I did that. Because I can't eat pork rinds by themselves. Because pork rinds, when you eat them, get real flaky. And I bit into one time and aspirated a piece of the pork rind down into my lungs. And I think it's still in there. And it like to killed me. So I cannot eat a plain pork rind. It's got to be dipped in something. Incidentally, I dipped it in some cream cheese and salsa dip. So that's good. So baby, you got to go back. I can't see what people are saying. I got to read what they're saying.
This is a lot.
Cheese and pepperoni. Yes, my mom Judy, I love cheese and pepperoni myself.
Favorite.
What else are people saying?
Nachos, chocolate.
Becca Lynn, oatmeal, homemade oatmeal, cream cheese out of the tub with Doritos. Wait a minute. Jordan, you just take a Dorito and you scoop cream cheese like a dip?
For Karen.
Man, I never heard tell of that. Fried pork chops on Sundays. Karen, that girl's from the South. I could tell. She's from the deep South. That sounds about right. What else do we have? Cashews. Elise, cashews, that's been the go-to thing. Cashews, that sounds healthy. Cashews. Biscuits and gravy. Who said that? Ashton Jeffrey. Chris, oh my goodness, biscuits and gravy with bacon. Oh, I feel my heartbeat racing. Ritz crackers, cream cheese and hot pepper. Yes, Stacy, I love hot pepper jelly. That's some of my favorite. I love hot pepper jam. It is so good. Oreos and toaster strudel. All right, Robert. I'm down with the Oreos, man. Put sour cream in salsa. It is the best. All right, Linda, I'll try that. I think we have some sour cream here. Bagels with cream cheese and jelly. I love bagels and cream cheese with jelly. Dwayne says whatever honey makes.
Karen says you're right.
Yeah, Karen, I already know. Get with the program.
What happened?
We already went over how white I am.
Karen.
Literally, she jumps on like just a second. Sky, you're so white. And then we'll leave.
I didn't know. Where's Sky? Oh, there you are on the screen. God, no.
I don't know why I look this way.
I didn't realize I didn't realize that. I looked on the screen.
My hair's all wet. I look
It's
like
the
a wet
glory.
dog.
You're glowing. It's the glory of God. She's been spending time in the
No.
prison.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh.
All right. Well, those have been really good. Those
Yeah.
have been interesting. I've never. Now listen. I've never heard of the Doritos dipped in cream cheese. I never heard tell of
No.
that. I missed what Lisa Beth said her go-to snack or food was. I was really interested in what she had to say as well, but I missed hers if she put one up there. Oh, grits with pork rinds. Grits, what? Grits and pork rinds? Like grits like the breakfast grit and dip your pork rind into that?
That sounds like two negatives.
I like
I like
grits.
grits.
Ew.
I just, listen, I can't. She said tonight it was beef hot dogs. Wait, pork chops, burgers, shrimp on the grill. Yes, all that. I'll take all that. Eggs, bacon, and cheese sandwiches. Yes, Michelle, that's good. Robert said glory glitter. I don't know what that is.
Are you saying grits is glory glitter?
Oh,
I don't know. Maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know what he said.
Either way, ew.
Either
I
way,
had
I
grits.
think it's either Karen or Jamal makes the best grits. I don't know which
One of
one.
those
We
two.
went over there one
But it's from the
day
Lawson
and
house?
It's from the Lawson house that the grits were made, and they were phenomenal.
Well, Karen comes from the deep
Yeah,
south.
she can cook.
And now, but Jamal grew up over in Germany,
Yes.
and so he knows all about that German food, and driving really fast.
and German chocolate. Good thing you knew about that.
She said grits and pork rinds. I'm gonna have to look that up.
See, the grits were Jamal.
Jamal made the grits.
See?
All right, all right.
Oh, and then Karen said both.
She had
Yeah,
to come
where's
in
Jace?
and rain on
upstairs on
Jamal's parade. Jamal gets no. She was just saying they probably both make the grits. She wasn't trying to. Robert says he's never had grits. Well, he's not as hillbilly as I thought he was. Jonata, you made turkey today, like a whole turkey, not turkey bacon, but like I don't like turkey bacon. We tried turkey bacon
Yeah, I
one
tried
time.
that too.
I didn't like that. I felt like I was being cheated. What are people saying over on YouTube? They said no spam, brownies, and anything Rose will bake when she is bored. That's Marvin. Marvin, anything Rose will bake. I love it, Marvin.
That's funny.
Rick, did you say oranges? And what did he say above that?
Cuties. They're like the little oranges. they're like littler oranges.
But super cute.
But they're cuties.
Rick, are you serious right now?
And Angel said
Oh
Robert
my
has had
goodness,
grits.
I'm glad she didn't post that on her.
They're on two separate
Get out of here.
chats.
Robert, your wife said you had grits. She's over on the YouTube saying you had grits. April, if you didn't hear me, baby, we wished you a happy birthday. And Marvin says Rose has stolen his phone.
Oh.
Well, wait a minute. Stacy
every-
Trimboli said fried cabbage is that sounds like something you would eat.
I love
Wait, is that a
cabbage.
German thing? Fried cabbage sounds German to me. Is that a
Fried
German? I don't know. Don't Germans eat a lot of cabbage? Is that a German food?
My
Jamal?
mom made cabbage all the time, and she's.
I don't like
think, I
cabbage.
don't think she's German. She could be.
Tina likes cabbage. I'm like, I'm not big on the cabbage thing.
This candied bacon thing that George was
Candied
talking
bacon.
about?
George Boris, candied bacon.
Hello.
I love it. Tina says, Tina doesn't call it candied. She calls it candid. So
We had to-
when we first started dating, she wanted candied apples, but she never says candied apples. It's always candid. And I said, candid, like it's hiding? You know, remember the show Candid Camera? They were hiding the I said, are the apples hiding? We have to go look for them? And she just says, they say candied bacon. It was candid. So the bacon's hiding. We got to find the bacon, everybody. Fried cabbage with onions, bacon, and cheddar. All right, I'm down with the onions, bacon, and cheddar. I'm not sure about the cabbage.
Tammy
Boiled
Wally.
cabbage with
Tam-
ham. That's what Tina likes to eat. Yuck.
Love
I'm
it.
just not down with that.
It's good.
No, ham I'll have. Cabbage, no. Isn't that sauerkraut? Isn't sauerkraut made from
That's
cabbage?
like
Isn't that
it is
like
from cabbage,
yeah.
but it's not
It
like.
just smells bad.
I don't know. Anyway. Well, you guys had a lot of really good go-to stuff there. Some of it I'm going to have to go back and look it all up and see what you put on there because some of that sounded really, really good. I'm still, Jordan's got me all tripped up with the dip in the Doritos and the cream cheese though, because I love Doritos and I love cream cheese. It's like rice pudding. I like rice and I like pudding.
love
I just
rice
don't know if I
pudding.
want the two of them together.
No, I do.
No, that doesn't sound right to me.
But it's good.
I know you like it, but just for me, it doesn't sound right.
Ashton's pregnancy cravings is kicked in. Mine too, and I'm not pregnant.
I hope not.
No. I'm not.
Well, Ashton, you better go
Well,
get you
that-
some. Better go get you some treats. Better go get you some. All right, Brenda. We're glad you had fun, baby.
Yes.
Enjoy the rest of your night. What time is it anyway? It is 8:30. I guess we've been on here for a minute,
Yeah.
and so I guess we'll get ready to jump off here and let y'all go. And Ashton needs to go get some of her pregnancy cravings down. And Bonnie says pretzel and cream cheese is also good.
Like
Y'all
like
just-
I'm sitting here.
Y'all dip chips in cream cheese, just plain cream cheese. There's nothing else. Just Bonnie, is there a particular, like, is it a honey roasted pretzel? Is it something to?
I think it's like a soft pretzel.
Is it a soft pretzel you dip in the cream
Oh,
cheese?
I've seen that.
Stacy, we're glad you joined us, sweetheart. I'm glad you were able to be with us on this Wednesday. I hope you have a good rest of the night, and I hope you have a great rest of the
16.
week. And then
Yes,
maybe when
that's
we're able
actually
to
Lewis.
convene, you and
knows
Carmen
why.
can make the trip from
Disgusting.
Pennsylvania down to visit with us one Sunday. I'd love to hug you guys around the neck. So, but we're so grateful that you and Carmen jumped online with us. We hope
Yes.
you guys have a great rest of the night and great week. She said the fat pretzel.
Hmm?
I asked her what kind of pretzel. Does that say fat? I can't see what it says.
Does say fat.
All right. Hey, if it's gonna be a pretzel, make it a fat pretzel. That's what I say. Don't give me no stupid skinny. I don't want no skinny pretzel.
The fat.
Fat man don't want a skinny pretzel. Fat man want fat pretzels. George Borsch, you have a good night, sir. Have a great night.
Oh,
There's Tiffany got on here.
Chips
and cream cheese. What in the world have I been missing out on?
We're just
I've
gonna get
never
cream
heard of
cheese,
this.
Start dipping everything in it.
Like cream cheeses. I didn't know that
She
was a
said
thing.
Doritos and cream cheese.
Ah,
She's
Tiffany?
backing him up.
Tiffany does that too. Wowzer.
now bagel chips dipped in cake. Anything with cake icing on it. Sounds good.
Yeah.
I was dipping vanilla wafers
Yeah, you really were.
What were you dipping
I-
vanilla wafer?
and cake icing.
And cake icing. I was like, Mom, what are you doing?
I was making the mac and cheese for Easter dinner while I was dipping vanilla wafers into cake icing.
Fritos and blue cheese.
was
I
really
like
good.
Fritos and I like blue cheese. I just never thought about dipping them.
Oh, and Miss Marty's cornbred pudding.
Mike,
Oh.
you're lying. Mike, you lying. Mike Dorsey is lying. You do not dip your
That is a
Oreo
lie.
in barbecue sauce.
That is
Get out of my face, Mike Dorsey. Nobody
You
does
can't
that.
help
That
it.
ain't right. Mike, you ain't. Okay, he said just kidding. All right, good.
Jeez.
About to lose the victory. I'm like, you're ruining Oreo by dipping it in the. Well, unless it's Sweet Baby Ray's now. Now, Sweet Baby Ray's is some of the best barbecue
It is,
sauce,
but I'm
but
not
I don't
dipping
want
my
to dip my
Oreos in
Oreo in it. No.
Mm.
Ritz cracker with cream cheese.
Icing and a strawberry slab. Mm.
Oh man.
I
Not
think that
only.
might be good.
Listen,
It's like
we're going to have a bunch of diabetics in our church.
Yeah.
Everybody eating cream cheese and
This is a great time to plug that Karen Lawson is going to be doing a Zoom
Is that what we were doing?
exercise class.
Oh, I gotta go.
We're getting together. We're going to nail down a time. So if you're interested in that, just inbox me.
Karen Lawson is going to be doing a Zoom exercise class.
Yes.
Well, after all the cream
I'm going to
cheese,
need
that-
it.
all the cream cheese we've been eating around here.
and
We're
the
gonna have a bunch
cake
of
icing that I've
yeah,
been downing.
icing and cream cheese. We're all constipated, is what we are. All the cheese we've been eating.
Oh, hey, Jamie's on here. Jamie Bonovich. That's Mary's
Where's
daughter,
Jamie Bonovich at? Hello, Jamie. Is that Jace?
Jeez. First I thought it was Zach,
I'm
and I
gonna
was
tell you
like,
right
that's
now,
aggressive.
I don't know that we have.
What's up, brother?
What a great family right here.
We're having family time.
Storm, you're gonna have to zoom out if you're gonna get this big look. Hold on,
We're having
we're
family
gonna log off here in a minute, but we're gonna zoom out so y'all can see Jace. He decided to crash our party. I know. He's the greatest. Is that as far out as we can zoom? We can't go out any further. I guess
Oh
that's
my
it.
lord!
I bet you put on that cutoff T-shirt just to come down here
No,
and flex.
I was on Zoom. They're like, "Look, Sky's on stream." I was like,
We're
Karen
on
lost
time.
connection. She did not lose
Yeah,
connection.
Karen lost connection because we were talking about the exercise class that everybody needs to join, evidently. Because we're dipping everything in cream cheese and cake icing. We are the most unhealthy church on the planet.
Yeah, we are.
I cried
But we're a
myself.
happy church.
But we're happy.
So happy.
We're happy. We just
Fat
don't eat
and
good,
happy.
but we're happy.
happy. Oh, this is so funny.
What's up, Shrek?
Want to flex for your camera? I got you. Oh wait, other way. Yes. Sir.
Oh my
Look how white
God.
he is. I'm not the only one.
Oh,
No.
Nisha.
That's a genetic thing. Nisha's
Hello,
on
Nisha.
there? Where's
Yeah,
Nisha?
Nisha.
Where is she? I don't see her.
She's right there. She said, "OMG, look at him."
Oh, there's Nisha. Hi, Nisha. She's down in Virginia, I think. I think they're down
Yeah,
in
I think
Virginia.
so.
Nice to see her.
Yeah.
Michelle says dance.
Do
because I
your
was telling
dance
them
that you
about
do
that.
for us every. Come on.
The dance. You're
Come on.
always
Oh,
you're
this-
always dancing.
Come on.
Oh my gosh, there's only like
And
there's
just
only a few
being-
people.
There's
on
only
here.
a few
There's
people
only
on
like
there.
a few.
There's not a lot on
There's
here.
not
It's
a lot.
just,
There's
it's just
just
church
a few.
people,
I
just
want to
church
see my
family.
dance. It's my dance.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
Do your dance. He is tall.
Yes, Jamie, he is a monster. I mean,
Yes.
I'm a big guy. I'll stand up next to him so you can see how big I'm not. I nicknamed Jace Shrek because when he gets up and walks around the house in the morning or late at night when everybody else is trying to sleep, the house shakes and vibrates and
Can we do it?
makes all kinds of noises. Tiffany wants us to do a TikTok. Tiffany,
Which one have I been trying to
Renegade.
I've been watching TikTok here lately because of Jordan. Jordan got me hooked on TikTok, and so I've been watching some of the TikTok videos. I just got introduced to TikTok. I didn't know anything about it, so I'm kind of new to the TikTok thing. So they're saying maybe we should do a TikTok thing. I don't know
Okay.
what we could do. I'll let you kids pick it
We
out.
should make a Riverside TikTok.
A Riverside
We
TikTok.
should
TikTok.
and give like everybody the password.
What was it? Cream cheese and marshmallow fluff mixed together makes the best fruit dip ever. That sounds delicious.
Yeah.
I might be able
Well,
to get down with
anything
that.
with marshmallow fluff.
Nisha, he did. He played football, and then we don't know what he's doing now. He just works out and eats and just does that.
That's about it.
That's it.
But he's. I would say, Nisha, I would say he's graduating this year, but I don't know if he's even going back to school this year. So I don't know if he's going to get to graduate or not. Judy says y'all need some sun.
We
Judy,
tried to come, and then
Judy-
the corona came.
Yeah, Judy, we were
We
trying to come
tried.
down and visit y'all in Florida next month, but the corona has
Yeah.
knocked it in the head.
We really tried.
So, Michelle said you guys are beautiful.
That's because we just did a TikTok dance for her.
Oh, because you
Oh,
did
she
the
asked for
TikTok.
one.
Yeah. So Tiffany said yes, OMG, yes. She wants us to do a TikTok video. She's ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna have to plan a TikTok video. All right, we'll do a TikTok.
I will do
I'm
a
down with it.
TikTok. I will show my parents how to do a TikTok.
All right.
Renegade, renegade, renegade.
Okay. Storm.
Mom, I can't. Let's talk about the other TikTok I tried to show her. We're not doing that.
Rose wants cake.
Cake. Oh,
When Rose worked at the
Rosie.
church every day, it was, I want cake.
It's chocolate. Didn't you?
We always had cake. We had cake every day we worked at the church. That's why I look the way I do, because we always had to have cake.
Remember that time that we I don't know if it was, I guess we had an abundance of cake donated, and we had boxes and boxes and boxes of cakes in the foyer that we were just giving to people as
I
they
don't remember
walked
that. I remember the potatoes. We got all them potatoes. We had a tractor trailer load of potatoes come in.
What?
Yeah, we had a tractor. Our church,
Probably think it's potatoes when it goes. What are we doing?
our church is located right off of Interstate 95, and there was a truck coming through that had potatoes on it. He couldn't offload them anywhere and needed to get rid of them, so he found us, and we ended up taking a truckload of potatoes. Mm-hmm. Big round potatoes. We ate potatoes for months, I think. It
I wonder
was.
how he pulled up. Hey, hold on. This way. Yeah, Pastor, we got a whole load of potatoes. Do you want some of these?
We'll take them. No, that was Mama G. Mama G took all the potatoes.
We'll take them.
That was all Mama G. We had potatoes, and potatoes. Potatoes for days. That's all we had. And so
And bread.
that's right. I remember the bread. I remember the bread thing. Yeah, because where our church is located, it's like,
Oh.
Jace, get back on Zoom
Were you
and
not
call.
supposed to
They
be?
all want me to come down here. They're like, yo, go down there. Go
Kirsten,
get
did you
some
put
lunch.
Jace up to this? I see Kirsten Dorsey on here. She jumped over here. Y'all were on. That's right. You're supposed to be on the Rush Zoom. Why?
They told me- they told-
Auntie said they're all watching on here now.
Well, they're on Zoom, but still
Oh.
watching.
Oh, I gotta sign back in.
Yes, we did the great potato blessings, I guess. I don't know. We had potatoes for
Yes.
days.
No, we're
Mashed
called
potatoes.
potato blessings.
I don't know what it was. And now we have a bunch of cake stuff down there. Lisa Beth was able to procure us
Yes.
icing and cakes and
Which
or
we
mix.
are-
You have to cook it though. You got to make it. It's not already made. You got to cook it. But it's good stuff.
Which
I've
we
eaten
are, I
several of those
think, going
cakes.
to take all of that we have to this church that's.
Oh yeah, there's a church right here in Northeast, and I think we're going to help them. They've been giving
Yep.
food away to families up here in Cecil County that have been in need, and we're
Oh,
gonna
look, I
we're
made
gonna
it.
partner with them.
Mhm.
Where's Brandy? Look.
What?
Brian Hastings texted me, and I'm like, Brian, you're a mess. What do we got? Oh, is that the?
That's
Okay,
everyone on Zoom.
this is
Oh
all.
wow, that's a lot.
That's Rush
The
on
Rush
Zoom.
on Zoom.
So I'm on Zoom here
Oh my gosh.
and on YouTube and Facebook. God
Okay.
bless everybody.
And Brandy's one that said I should come down here.
She dared you.
Yes, Lisa Beth, the cakes were
Yeah.
good. Oh, yeah, I don't. We did
Those
have a bunch of
were
cakes.
so
Yeah, they were
good.
good. Those were good cakes. The cakes were good.
Ah.
Who is this coming?
It's
in?
Mama G. Are you making a debut?
I wouldn't.
She snuck back out.
The way she just walked back out.
She backed out of the room.
We got to be able to spin one of the cameras around.
Yeah, she probably would have.
To
Yeah, we're.
No, we're not.
Yeah.
We're just practicing right now. No, we're not on
we're
live
kind
now.
of practicing to see how we all look in frame. You want to come and
You wanna
jump
see
in?
how you
next
look?
up?
It's not. It's not recording.
You want to jump in with Jace and see what it looks like? We can. Babe,
Come-
you're gonna have to come in some. You're leaned out of the.
No,
out
I
of the-
meant actually in it. That's just. It's,
Oh, okay.
His screen's like in front of it some more.
So
you
anyway,
coming in?
Um,
You can see.
I am not gonna do that to her.
This guy, what a nerd.
Just remember that for Christmas.
yes, Kelly. I see Kelly on YouTube saying too many homemade desserts. Yes, Kelly, I agree. Too many homemade desserts. Unless, now I did enjoy the pineapple upside down cake that Lisa
Yeah,
Beth
that was
sent,
good.
and we
That was really
devoured that. That was really delicious. And so, but now I've been being disciplined the last couple of days. So anyway, I'm trying to see. Jamal said we're lying to Mama G. Yes, Jamal,
Yes.
we were trying to dupe her to get her in on camera, but she's been around us a minute or two, and she knew
Sky
better,
caved.
and she jumped off. Yes, Sky did cave.
Only because of
Sky's
Christmas
loyal
gifts.
to her Mama G.
I am loyal to you, Mama G. You remember that.
She's very loyal to Mama G. Tina, and Tina, Jace, and myself are not. Jace, you look like a bodyguard.
Oh, like I just feel weird.
I know.
I'm like, all right.
I dare you to come in.
There's no one
And
out there.
it's like, yes, Jamal, there would be blood on the floor. Mom, Brenda Weaver's on here. She says she misses you. You could poke your head in and say hello. Linda Caldwell is on here, and you could just say hello.
Do you not see me?
She says she'll make chocolate cookies. I'm guessing.
I
Well,
still
she makes
make
chocolate cookies. That's
cookies.
Sunday is fun day.
Yeah.
Sunday's
Sunday's
fun day.
You didn't tell me that.
Sunday,
No.
Sunday fun day. We,
Every Sunday's fun day.
You said get on a strict diet.
Well,
Sunday fun
tell the
day.
world I said that.
I'm catching up with everybody on the YouTube side over there. Rick said that fried cabbage is a Southern thing.
Love it.
Rick, I've never heard of. Rick, I do believe that because in the South, that's how you cook food. You just fry it, and then when you get done frying it,
Great
you put
fried.
gravy on it. That's the only way people in the South know how to cook. Fry it and then put gravy on it. So, anyway.
I need my hair done.
I cut
Well, it is. It's 8:40, so we love you guys. Kelly, what did Kelly put on YouTube over there? Homemade cake. It's milk cake with peanut butter
That sounds like
and
cute.
chocolate. Peanut butter,
Yeah.
chocolate, and cake is a winning combination. I don't care how you even
that's
put it
good.
together. That sounds amazing. That
Yeah.
sounds that sounds
Peanut butter and chocolate.
peanut butter, chocolate, and cake. I don't care the combination. That just sounds amazing. It really
Whatever
does.
it is.
Sounds amazing. Well, listen, it's been a wonderful night. I hope you guys got to learn something when we were talking. And Jamie, good night, baby. It was good to see you
night.
on here. I'm glad you stopped in to say hello to us. We'll be back on. I'll be on Friday night with a special guest. It's kind of a one-time thing. This person was only off on Friday night, and that's why we're meeting this Friday night. So I'll be live streaming here Friday night at 7 o'clock with a special guest. And it's not something that we're going to do every Friday night, but this Friday night we will. And then I'll be back on here Sunday at 11. If you're interested, you can log back on Sunday. We'll live stream Sunday morning at 11 o'clock. It'll probably be just me and not Shrek and the great white person,
Casper.
Casper,
Wow.
Casper the friendly ghost here beside me. It'll just be me, and I'll just share a word from the Lord with you on Sunday. And then next Wednesday, of course, Tina will be here with me, and perhaps the rest of my family. Who knows? And so, but it was good seeing everybody jump on and visit with us. I'm glad you were able to make it on here. We do miss all of you. We love you all dearly. We can't wait until we're able to be together where I can see you and touch you and hug your necks and all of that good stuff. But y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the night. Again, if you're able to be back on here Friday night, we'll have a guest come on and we'll share a little bit with you on Friday night as well. Otherwise, do you have anything else, babe? Any more announcements that you needed to make? I know you had a few of them.
There are a few. Like I said earlier, that Karen Lawson is going to do she is going to do an exercise group on Zoom. I wasn't fibbing about that. So as soon as we get the information of the date and the time, I'll make sure we get that out to everyone. Also, just a reminder that Rush is doing their Zoom groups on Wednesday at 7. And if you have a youth that is not already logged into that group, just email me at office@rcclife.com and I will get you connected to Brandy and she'll get you all set up. And we also have tomorrow and every Thursday at 7, our Outback Kids, Kat Dorsey leads that. And if you are not in that group or you have any kids at home that would like to do that, go ahead and email me at the office@rcclife.com and I will get you set up on that. Let's see. We already said about your guest on Friday.
Friday night, 7 o'clock, be back on here with us. We'll share
Yeah.
some stuff with you, have some prayer, and then Sunday at 11. If you want to get your, let me move my microphone out of the way so you can see my shirt. Is that moved out of the way? If you want to get a shirt like this is made by Louis Alexander at Riverside Church. You can hit him up and he'll make sure that you can order one directly from him. Hopefully. I'm hoping he still does these. If not, I'm just advertising for nothing. And so, but you can get one of these. Thank you all so much for jumping in and joining with us. Thank you for Sky and Jace for jumping in. That was a pleasant
Yay.
surprise. I didn't know they were going to pop in on us. So I'm grateful that they were able to come in and y'all were able to see them and they were able to jump on. And then who knows? We'll have some other parts of my family that are.
Yes.
Shane is anxious to get on here.
Eagerly.
So you'll see my
Awaiting
brother.
to
My
get
brother
on.
will be on here, and we'll have a good time with him. So we'll plan for him to be on, and whoever else that Brandy, we'll have Brandy pop on,
We might
and
get Paw back on.
maybe we'll get Paw Paw back on. How cool would that be? I'll get Paw Paw and Mama G on here with me.
Yes.
That would
Yeah.
be great. That'd be so wild. So,
Yes.
Wild is
but,
correct.
Yes.
we could talk about marriage. We could talk about how to have a.
How lovely Mommy was.
Y'all been married
How
for
that works.
over 50 years. So there's a lot of sage advice that you could give. And so 52 years. That's great. Awesome. So thank you guys again so much for just jumping in. Those of you on YouTube, thank you for being on YouTube with us. Thank you so much for being on Facebook with us. We love you guys. We miss you. Can't wait to see you all again.
Be sure to click your notifications and follow Riverside Church. Tell your friends and family that they can jump in and join us as well. We love to connect with as many people as we can. God's given us a wonderful opportunity to be able to connect with different people using live stream, and it's been great for us. We've enjoyed it. We miss you. I hope you guys are having a great rest of the day. Have a blessed week. If you have prayer requests, you can shoot them through our Facebook, YouTube, and we'll make sure that we'll be praying
Yes.
for them. I don't have anything else.
Nope, that's it.
You good? You good?
I'm good.
Storm, are you good? Thanks to Storm for leading it all for
Yes.
us. Mama G, are you good? She's stuck in the room, but she's not going to come on and say hi, even though she looks fine. She ain't going to come on here. But love you guys.
Love you.
Be blessed. Take care. We out.